Hello, everyone. It's me, Michael, and today I have my first film review, and this is kind of exciting. A new step on the channel, something going away from Lego more into my own thing because I want this to be my own thing, not just Lego. I want this to be everything I love. Um, but this is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, my review of it. All the opinions in this video are my own. Feel free to agree or disagree with any of the opinions in the comments. Also, quick note, depending on the rating of whatever movie or TV show I'm covering, um my family friendly vibe will go away. Obviously no cursing still. Um but this show is TV 14 plus, which is uh, well deserved because it is bordering on rated R. um so yeah, quick note about that. Also, spoilers. I think this should be obvious. Anything on a film review will always have spoilers unless it's trying to be spoiler free. But spoilers here, there's some big spoilers for this show. It pretty much drives the future of the MCU, kind of like WandaVision. But first, let's get into the story. The story is that Falcon as Sam and the Winter Soldier as Bucky, or James, whatever you want to call him, White Wolf. Um, they were basically, excuse me, deleted from existence during the blip. And they're trying to come to terms with their mistakes and the responsibilities that they now have and how the world has changed around them. Falcon's dealing with being a person of color and being given the shield, and Sam, he's trying to deal with being basically an assassin for many years and being miserable for such a long time, and now he's trying to find happiness with his life and reconcile with all the people that he has hurt, all the families that he's hurt, and he quickly comes to terms with the fact that he's just trying to make himself feel better, not the people he's harmed. And so he kind of changes tactics near the middle to end, and he starts to really consider changing up his style with how he's helping people instead of helping himself feel better. Um, and he ends up making himself feel better as well as the people around him, so good for him. Sam, he finds out, spoilers, that there was another super soldier back from the old Steve Rogers days, um, and he was a person of color. He was never remembered for his service, and he was just forgotten about with time, and he's still alive by the end of the show. Anyway, they go on a bunch of misadventures together, and they're kind of frenemies, which is an interesting dynamic. They kind of hate each other, but at the same time, they're okay with each other because, well, Steve was okay with both of them, and they later become friends and really share some good laughs and smiles, which was nice to see. Both of them were kind of depressed for a little bit, just dealing with all these problems that kept on stacking up. Anyway, this we got characters like Sharon Rogers, who I'm not a big fan of. Like at the end of the show, she receives a pardon and whatever, and she just goes back to crime, as we get her set up to be another villain. Like, oh, that's okay. You know, you pardon her and she goes back to crime. That's nice. No, I don't like that. I'm not really good with Sharon. Like, the fact that these heroes are kind of friends with this obvious villain is not really great for me. Kind of like Zemo. Zemo, at least he tries to kind of be a person who helps, and I don't think he really commits a crime throughout this whole series. He just gets broken out of prison, helps the heroes, and goes back. He wasn't as important as most people would probably think. Anyway, um, Flag Smashers, and this will lead into the character known as Carly. Flag Smashers were bland as a blank sheet of notebook paper. Um, we've seen their tropes before. Their story is the fact that they liked things before the blip. They felt that the resources were more plentiful and less people were dying because there were less people to be greedy. Yeah, we've seen tropes like this a bunch of times. It's not interesting at all. They're boring and bland. And that leads to their leader, Carly. Ugh, I don't like this trope in characters. She's kind of misguided, and she wants the world just like the Flag Smashers, as she's their leader, to make things the way they were before the blip. Change the government, change people, and whatever. Make them be less greedy by force, killing, murdering, whatever they want to do. Um, Carly, we've just seen her tropes a bunch of times before, and she does die at the end. Spoilers again. Um, but thing is, that was actually a better ending for me because I would have preferred that than her turning around and being exactly what we could have predicted. And her turning around and living a happy life and whatever. We already see this trope with one character, and that is Bucky. He's been a bad person, and it's been not through his own choice, but he's been a bad person through not his own choice, and now he's trying to turn things around. Anyway, Carly, her problem is she insists on hurting people for her cause. It's good that she states that she's willing to die for her cause. That's great. Like, and she kind of dies as a symbol of how controlling the government can be. This show does get a little bit political, but it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a show about Captain America. America. It's gonna be political. Anyway, Carly dies, and whatever, she's just kind of shot down, and that's the end of her. Anticlimactically dies. Um, I actually kind of like that better because she doesn't just become who we think she is. It's like, oh, she's gonna turn her life around like Bucky here. No. Anyway, um, this character trope is aggravating for me because they think they're so right with killing people, which is such an obvious bad thing to do. Don't kill people, okay? Just it's really bad, okay? And don't hurt people unless it's in self defense. Like, be like the heroes of the story. They're fighting for a good cause. They're trying to help people out. Carly, I guess she kind of believes she's trying to selectively help people. She's trying to help people who she thinks are good, like innocent people and whatever, but at the same time, she's not afraid to kill innocents to, to, really push forward her cause. Like she literally states, kill the hostages. Like, no, don't do that. That's just completely contradicting what you're fighting for. Anyway, her message and story is really bland. It's stuff we've seen a bunch of times before. I'm kind of just aggravated with this character at this point. Let's move on. Zemo, there's not much to talk about. I've kind of already stated all there is to know about him. He doesn't really develop any further. John Walker. John Walker was interesting. The actor kind of received a lot of hate for this, but he's a character you're not supposed to like. And yet at the same time, I like him. The later version of him I like because he turns himself around and becomes a good person, but not like Bucky or how you would expect Carly to turn out. He kind of he accepts that he's not a hero. He's an anti-hero, and he has killed people brutally. He kills this man in the streets, staining the shield, tarnishing his reputation. He gets stripped of being Captain America. He is furious and he lets his vengeance take over constantly throughout the story, proving that he is not a hero. And that's okay, because, he helps out the best they can at the end. He lets go of his vengeful nature, and he becomes the U.S. agent. Spoilers again, but this was
interesting a turn for him. The fact that he doesn't become a full hero, he doesn't completely turn around, but he tries to help out the best he can as an anti-hero. As kind of Venom became in the Venom movie, and a bunch of other people became, like Snape from Harry Potter and whatever. They're all anti-heroes. John Walker becoming an anti-hero, I felt was very good. It wasn't what I was expecting. He was a vengeful character, extremely brutal and extreme in how he did things. He couldn't have been better betrayed as an anti-Captain America. I liked this character, but at the same time I didn't like him. Like, I don't like these vengeful people, I'm not like that. I try not to get angry. Um but this character, he was interesting. He turned around, he became a better person, but at the same time, he's still a US agent. He's an anti-hero. Um he's like, he's not completely bad, he's not completely good. He's like Deadpool, like anti-hero through and through. He'll do stuff to get paid and whatever. But anyway, that's it for the characters in this show. Um I already discussed the story and my overall thoughts on this. It's like an 8 out of 10. It's not as good as WandaVision. It did make me shed a tear at the end, which was surprising because I don't normally shed a tear like this, especially in movies um, that are just basic action packed beat 'em up movies and TV shows. But this ended up being really good, and I would definitely recommend you watch this. If you have a Disney Plus subscription, if you want to get a Disney Plus subscription, get it. If you already have it, I guarantee you will like the show. As long as you're okay with the brutality of it. It can get brutal. There's quite a bit of cursing, more than I would normally expect. Actually, normally, it's more on par with what I would expect, but the fact that WandaVision had so much less cursing and so much less battle kind of really changed my perspective on the MCU a little bit. I still love it, and my opinion on the MCU hasn't changed for the worse or anything. It's actually changed for the better. Anyway, feel free to agree or disagree in the comment section. I want to know what you think, and tell me how I did for my first film review. I tried to make this creative and yet take inspiration from film reviews I've seen. I haven't seen Just Too Good's film reviews. I don't know what they're like, but I'm trying to make this my own thing. I'm trying to get away from Lego and do something really creative with this whole YouTube thing. Anyway, tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Bye.